Good morning, boys and girls, from Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangles studio high on Sassafras Mountain. CDA presents Real Tree Radio. Welcome to a brand new, unused Saturday morning. Good morning, boys and girls, from the Bojangles studio high in the mountains of North Georgia. And I'm getting tired. Welcome to a brand new, unused Saturday morning. This is ONeill Outside, 6 after the hour. Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm proud to tell you you can listen to ONeill Outside at WSB AM 750 and 95.5 FM and the SB Nation, Sports Broadcast Nation, from coast to coast and worldwide. 6 after the hour. If you'd like to join us on the program this morning, the telephone numbers are 404-872-0750 or outside the Atlanta calling area 800-972-8255. Woman Williams is with us this morning from 5 to 6, and she's ready to take your questions, your observations on Facebook at ONeill Outside. So we have a busy morning. Talk to you about the SHOT Show and a few new things we saw this week, and entertain your calls and your questions if you have some. Let's spend the next hour or so outside. No politics, no finances, no social interaction other than the subject of outdoors. Pardon me. We do not have what we call a cough button here. The show emanates from our log cabin in North Georgia mountains near Amicalola Falls. It goes to WSB Radio in Atlanta, then to Peachtree City, Georgia, to a studio there, and then finally to Fort Worth, Texas, which is distributed nationwide on the SB Nation Radio Network. So, we have several things to do at just a little bit after 8 o'clock, and you can join us also. Are you up there on Facebook already, are you? Just getting there? Okay. Woman Williams and I, we were at the SHOT Show this week, the Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Trade Show in Las Vegas. I wish you could all go. You can't. I wish you could. It's the biggest gun and outdoor show in the world. We have to talk about that, about so many other things, and this is ONeill. I hope you'll join us, and we'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the #1 live outdoor-based radio talk show in the world, and you can also contact us at Facebook at ONeill Outside. Visit ONeill Outside website for the Southern Grind guest book. Leave your question, your observation. You may win a Southern Grind knife, and you can tune in to or read the Medal of Honor tribute, and we will handle that later in the program, one of the last things. Right now, let's talk to Mac Farr. He's calling with the Ram Report. Good morning, Mac.
Good morning, ONeill. How are you?
I thought I'd get to you. I'm doing fine. I got to get to you early. What's going on with you, sir? It's winter time.
It's winter, and we were talking about how mild it's been. We should have kept our mouths shut. We're paying for that now.
That's exactly right.
Winter's going to show who's boss here for at least through the end of the month. But, ONeill, all this turbulent weather we've had, the rain dumps, the lake levels fluctuating, the fish have not really missed the lick. Fishing's been good, particularly on the striper side.
Oh, good.
And, most area lakes we're getting a really, really good bite on the umbrellas. And, of course, an umbrella is always a good way to look for fish, but they're just on it when you find them. I'm getting reports from all over the southeast. And, of course, the mini-mac bite that we've been talking about has been very, very strong. Again, not just on Lanier, but lakes all over the southeast. And we've got some stuff in the fishing report. We don't have time on radio to go into a detailed explanation, but, check out the fishing report and give you some ideas. We've got some video how we're fishing that thing because we're trolling it. I call it stealth trolling on a trolling motor. That's been a really good pattern.
Okay, yeah. I would recommend everyone to visit, what's the website?
It's Captain Max, CaptMacks.
Right, CaptainMax.com, because you need to, because, you know, sometimes, Mac, we take for granted when we say an umbrella rig or a mini Mac, we take for granted that because we talk about it so much that people know what that is.
Absolutely, and it's also, you know, as generous as you are giving me time to do this report, it's still limited, and we can expand on that a little bit online, a little more details, and sometimes we'll have videos to support those things. So you can see the Hayes report every week online too. We usually publish it Friday nights, and so check that out when you get a chance. Might make some of this clearer in your mind's eye.
I think so, no doubt about it. Boy, now think about, let's chat for just a second. Think about what guiding at Lake Lanier and what the harvest would be if it were not for the Department of Natural Resources and their funds that put stripers in Lake Lanier.
You know, Neil, that's such an incredible point. Most people don't realize it. If you, not just our lakes, if you harvest game, if you've hiked on a trail, so much of what we do outside is a direct result of the labor of our DNR guys and gals who work really hard, and they love the outdoors just like we do. That's why they're in that profession. But they're kind of out of sight, behind the scenes. And if you've caught a striper or a hybrid bass anywhere in Georgia, you need to think one of those guys, one of those ladies. They're working hard to make that happen.
Absolutely, and for instance, even to the extent, and it's but I believe it's on ONeill Outside this week. It's the harvest of, hatching of, and stocking of walleye in North Georgia.
Yes, which is a big program. And, you know, next week, remind me when we start, ONeill, we need to talk about the white bass program on Lake Lanier, which DNR white bass went away. DNR's reestablished that, or in the process of doing that. But
wonderful.
To be working, and hats off to them. Yeah, they identified the problem and found a solution, which we used to have a really good white bass fishery. In a nutshell, the bluebacks ate them, but we're establishing that. But, yes, the walleye program, all of that is directly attributed to our DNR department. Hats off to them. And law enforcement, too, while we're giving out accolades. There's another group that works hard
to keep
us safe that gets very little thanks or recognition. So a bunch of good outdoorsmen and outdoorswomen that are helping us enjoy what we like to do.
Okay. So in recommendations you might make here at 16 after the hour about lakes all in northern Alabama, East Tennessee, the Carolinas, North Georgia, what would you tell the amateur, if you will, or the weekender? How should he go about catching stripers this week or the next 2 weeks?
I would put emphasis on using an umbrella rig as a search tool. I would carry live bait. Be prepared, because the lake temperatures and oxygen levels are such, fish can be at all levels, so be prepared to fish shallow and deep. Use the umbrella for a search tool. When you find that good concentration of fish, maybe roll over the live bait or even some jigging spoons. That's been effective. But keep moving, keep looking. Use the birds. They're a great indicator. Most all our lakes have plenty of gulls now that it's cold. They're our eyes, if you will.
Yes.
If they're not flying or you're not seeing them, trolling's a great way to look for fish. But stay mobile. Stripers are big, nomadic, open water fish. Stay mobile till you find them. Don't give up. Keep looking.
All right. Have you got some open days coming up?
We do, but spring is fast approaching.
Oh, boy.
And every time we see a nice warm day, the phones start ringing, so let me know if we're going to fill them up.
All right, well, let me know on a second subject there within this lake and so many other lakes across the South. Just right around the corner is the fantastic crappie fishing.
Oh, yes, and we saw it. It started to spike up when a week, 10 days ago, when water temperatures were still in the 50s in a lot of lakes. They were really doing well. Now, we had most of our lakes came up. They went back down. They got dirty. They got clean. They got dirty again. That's kind of got them in a state of turmoil, so to speak. But the next decent fall we have, look for that to go really, really full on. I think we're real close. Yeah.
Time to stock up on crappie fillets.
Time to stock. Look, we're real close to the point where you need to forget about responsible adulting. It's time to fish.
There you are.
You got 10 days to get all your stuff done. It's time to go.
That's exactly right. Mac, thanks for calling. A fantastic ram report from you and from Hayes, and we appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity, and I hope what we say helps everybody get out on the lake and catch a fish or two, and if we've done that, then it's more than worth it.
You bet. See you, pal.
Have a great weekend.
You too. There you go. That's good. I'll get Jason to drop that. It's
He's
19
clear.
after the hour. This is ONeill with ONeill Outside, and an announcement. I've started podcasting. And you can listen to the ONeill Outside podcast. We're starting off under control a little bit. You can listen to the podcast by going to ONeilLOutside.com or SoundCloud. And you can listen to the podcast. Now, my question for you is, what's the best kind of podcast you want to listen to? I mean, they're extremely popular. Is it maybe for ONeill to interview someone, a writer, a guide, a manufacturer, or is it just a visit with ONeill? Just a conversation with ONeill. Of course, it's a one-sided conversation. It's ONeill telling you something. If you listen to podcasts, let me know what you want to hear. I would appreciate it. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. It's 20 after the hour. We've still got 40 minutes of outdoors headed your way. Are you online now with the Facebook?
Yes, I am.
And?
And nothing really going on.
Everybody just loves me?
Just say no.
Well,
they don't like you at all.
Oh.
They're just saying good morning. Good morning from Tupelo, Mississippi, LJ, Georgia, Marietta.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that wonderful restaurant we ate in Tupelo, Mississippi that time?
Oh, that's right.
Right in downtown.
Was that Tupelo? Yeah. We were
That's
on
where
the way
Elvis was
to
born,
Oklahoma,
right?
driving to Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's where Elvis was born, right? Tupelo, Mississippi.
I think so.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Yeah, Elvis is dead.
I knew that.
Yeah, okay.
I thought he had been.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. I wish I knew the name of that place. It would have been worth going back. And it was just a little hole in the wall.
Yeah, but it was fabulous, wasn't it?
Oh, gosh.
That's right.
Because we had quite a few
I mentioned,
bad
we'll talk
meals.
about it when we get back, but I mentioned the prices for the restaurants in Las Vegas. We'll talk about that when we get back. This is ONeill.
WSB's Mark Aram.
Mark Aram. Our philosophy as a company is to build things that add value to people's lives. So we're not here to create weapons, we're here to create tools that add value to things that you do every day. You're on the floor of Southern Grind, so it's loud in here, but this is what it sounds like when you're making things. This man knows how to make things really, really sharp. We're very proud to be really American-made. All the profits from here go to help serve kids, military, research for education and nutrition, and really have a higher purpose.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're opened. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Tough Shed, a million uses. One of them tough enough to protect whatever's valuable to you. Tough Shed storage buildings and garages, coast to coast. For the store nearest you, call 1-800-BUY-TOUGH or visit toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
At the Whitetail Institute, there's a lot of things we could talk about, like pioneering the food plot industry, our extensive research, or our customer success and the world and state records we've helped produce. But what we don't talk enough about is our customer service, and like our product line, is by far the best in the business. We have the expertise to help you improve the quality of your deer and your deer hunting. So contact us today. The call and the consultation are free. We look forward to the opportunity to earn your business.
ONeill has cooked up a new line of real lubes, gun oils, and deck cleaners. We created these from green energy sources that lube, oil, clean, last longer, penetrate narrow spaces better, are completely odorless, and will swab the boat deck like no other. Your muzzleloader barrel will sparkle, rifle action will be silent, and reels will be silky and long-lasting. Visit ONeilloutside.com and order now.
"24 after the hour." This is ONeill with ONeill Outside. Woman Williams and I, we were in Las Vegas this week, and I'm going to solicit a supportive comment. What do you think about the prices for the meals?
It was unbelievable. The first morning we were there, I thought maybe, you know, I was tired. I would just get room service. So I looked at the room service menu. There was nothing for breakfast that didn't cost $19.95 or more. And then I looked to see, okay, how much else are they going to charge? $9 to bring it to the room.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. And then, you know, I went downstairs, and it was still over $20, and I just had a piece of toast.
That's right.
You know, and some coffee. It was ridiculous. At night, when we'd go, you know, different little restaurants around there, it was horrible. And I had the worst lobster I've ever had in my life. Been looking forward to it for months and months. I've wanted lobster, so I went to go get lobster.
Lobster was what, $50?
It was $49.95.
And it wasn't any good?
No.
Well, there
and
you
then
are.
I thought, well, at least I'm going to enjoy this glass of white wine that you bought for me.
Okay.
Until I spilled it in my plate.
She spilled the wine.
I just, gosh.
All right, let's talk to Ray in Alpharetta. Let's bring up Ray in Alpharetta. Good morning, Ray. It's ONeill. What kind of Saturday are you looking forward to?
Good morning, ONeill.
Good morning, Ray.
I am driving on my way to the Atlanta airport. Got to do some travel, but my question is, as kind of a rookie hunter, I've got 4 or 5 hunting seasons behind me now hunting for deer that my son-in-law got me interested in the sport, which I truly love as a city slicker.
Okay.
But my question is, got a family out in Texas and got to hunt some deer out there, but I want to be able to travel with my own firearms, and I've got a case now, so I need some pointers on traveling with my shotgun and or my rifle and getting through TSA and how to pack it and what to do about ammo.
Okay. Send it off FedEx a week prior.
Oh, 10-4.
Pack, you know,
Get
don't put
their
it
insurance and everything.
Yeah, don't put it in a gun box. Get a large box, wrap the guns in bubble wrap. You know, mark it, you know, wood furniture, whatever. Send it FedEx and pick it up wherever you get there.
Oh, okay, so forget about this nice gun case they got me with all these fancy locks on it.
Correct. Just wrap them.
Well, I most appreciate it. Can I ask one other question?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, so it's my first time learning how to skin and dress a deer because I got to go hunting in Texas with an old buddy of mine from my Texas days way back. And so I need a couple pointers on getting some knives. And I caught the end of advertisement you had at the beginning of the show. I didn't even know your show was out here.
Okay.
So do I need one knife? Do I need a set? What's a good suggestion in terms of being able to dress the deer wherever I go?
Well, I would have 2 knives. I always have 2 knives. One is the Southern grind knife called a Bad Monkey. And the second is a fixed blade, and it's called a Jackal Black and Tan. And what you're going to like about these they're made by Zach Brown at the Southern Grind Knife Company in Alpharetta, Georgia. You can buy them online, and what you're going to like is the fact that they hold their edge and they are substantial in your hand. You don't slip with these knives. You don't slip down the blade. It's substantial. You'll love them, and they'll last you forever.
So the first Zach Brown you mentioned is
the one I like is a Bad Monkey.
Bad Monkey, okay.
Bad Monkey, and the other one is a Jackal. Jackal Black and Tan is one I like. I have several, as you can imagine.
All right, Bad Monkey and a Jackal, and I got to go online to see if I can put my name in the hat, I guess, to win me one of those.
Absolutely. Go to ONeill Outside and ask a question at the Southern Grind guest book. You bet. We give away one a week.
10-4. Well, it's a pleasure finding your show on my bright early morning on the way to the Atlanta airport, and I wish you the best. Thank you for taking my question.
Thank you for taking the time to call, and you'll give that FedEx or UPS a try. It'll work for you. It always has for me.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you, sir. And there we go. This is ONeill with ONeill Outside. It's
Nicole and Griffin.
30 minutes after. Let's talk to Nicole in Griffin, Georgia. Good morning, Nicole. This is ONeill Outside. Welcome.
Hello, both of you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Question.
sweetie.
Question is about why are they hissing? They make some kind of noise.
Pardon me, I'm missing that. Gail, help me.
When they eat and they're around, 4 or 5. I have 4 or 5 in the back of the house, and I want to keep them there because they can eat a lot of ivy. But what are they doing when they're hissing, like shh?
Oh, the noise they make.
Yes.
It's part of the behavior, I guess. Is usually any kind of sound that an animal, an insect, a mammal, a fish, well, even a fish sometimes, that is their spatial communication.
Okay.
They're letting everyone else know that they are there.
Okay, so it's part of the territorial, isn't it?
Correct. That is right. That's a more correct term. It's a territorial space warning, if you will, or notice. I am here and I'm doing this. Leave me alone.
So if they are happy in the back, would they stay or they have to move around if they have enough food?
If they have enough food, they'll stay exactly where they are. If they're not in danger, they'll stay whatever the food source is.
All right, I can keep them. Talking about Las Vegas, I was going there 30 years ago.
Yes.
And there was no water on the sand, and we could park our tractor trailer on the main drag.
Oh, how about that?
And the food was $1.99 for a buffet. And God Almighty.
Yeah.
Nicole, it's changed.
The buffet was prime rib and lobster, and it was amazing.
Indeed.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Thanks for calling, Nicole.
Enjoy your day.
You bet. You too. There you go. And I could even drop the call, I think. 32 after the hour. This is ONeill. Let's talk to Richard on ONeill Outside. Good morning, Richard, from West Virginia. Good morning, Richard.
What I heard probably 3 years ago by people that are associated with this casino here in Wheeling, West Virginia, they said that they've been out to Caesar's Palace and they tried their seafood buffet, and the one here in Wheeling is much better than theirs. It's hard for me to believe that kind of stuff, but that's what they said. They said the seafood buffet here at the Wheeling Casino is better than they have at Caesar's Palace. It's hard to believe, but according to maybe your wife, that may be true.
Yeah, could be.
As far as you were asking about the podcast.
Yes.
That's what you wanted to see on the podcast.
Well, I wanted to know, what do you want to hear on a podcast? I'm on, we're starting out on SoundCloud, and my podcasts are there now on SoundCloud. It's free. You download SoundCloud, and there is ONeill Outside.
And you'll probably tell me to get lost when I say this, but I've heard of a podcast, but I have no idea what it is. Is that something you need to have a computer? I've heard it talked about many times with a podcast, but I don't have a computer, so I don't even know what a podcast is.
Oh,
is that where you need a computer?
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Download it on your cell phone. You can hear podcasts on your cell phone, your iPad, and your computer. On your cell phone, you can download SoundCloud and just put in ONeill Outside, and you will hear our podcast.
Oh, okay. If you could do it on the cell phone, I didn't know you could do it on
Yes,
that.
you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. What I called about was there was somebody I had a problem with my television. There's somebody from the television company who was over here, and while he was fixing the TV, messing with it, there was a fishing commercial on. So he's telling me that fishing's my favorite sport, and I've fished in every county. He says I fished all over the state of West Virginia. And I asked him if he listens to ONeill, and he said he did. And I said, I was telling you about fishing in the tournaments to get to the Elite Series.
Yes.
And he's telling me that you have to win a tournament in every county in order to, a small tournament in every county in order to get into the Elite Series. Is he blowing smoke, or is that true?
That's not quite true. You need to be successful, and you can't just pay your money and fish. They won't let in what we would call an amateur, but and there are different qualifications, but I would not think that you need to win a tournament in every county to do that. What you need is sponsorships, and you're not going to have sponsorships unless you are successful already. It's kind of a stair-step approach, but these fellows are professionals. They're not amateurs. They are professionals, and they work at it, and it's an extremely hard and involved profession, but they are really good.
Well, that's what he said. It's extremely difficult to win to get to something like the Elite Series because you have to win all these local tournaments to even qualify for it. To even
it is a qualification process. Richard, it's good to hear from you. You always have a great question, and I always appreciate you taking the time to call. And I'm glad we're listening, have audience in West Virginia. And I'll see you soon. And this is ONeill. Time to go to a break. We'll be back. You're listening to ONeill Outside, the #1 live outdoor-based radio talk show in the world. And we're talking right now. We'll bring him up, and with Jason's help, I'll bring up John in New York. Good morning, John.
Good morning, ONeill and Woman Williams. Top of the day to you.
Thank you very much.
Last time I talked to you, was going hunting that morning, and what I did was, after I got done talking, I put another cup of coffee down my neck, and then I shoveled out the wood stove a little bit, and I always carry it out and smoke myself to cover my scent, because the wood smoke here goes up the mountain. That's what the deer are used to.
You bet.
And it paid off. It paid off very well. I've been doing it since 1983, and I got my deer that morning. It was only 15 yards away from me when I shot it.
Oh man, wasn't that great?
Yeah. Now I want to let you know how good a job you do smoking yourself. When you go home after the hunt and your wife says, "Get away from me, you smell like smoke," then you know you did a good job.
It's a great cover, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you doing your Medal of Honor notifications there to people.
Thank you.
I want to give a shout-out to my Uncle Ed. He was in Iwo Jima. He turned 95 last month. He's in Culpeper, Virginia.
Oh. Wow.
I love him so. He had his helmet shot off him. Brave man. You never know how he lived his life, what he went through.
Well,
really appreciate all of them guys.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. I know my father was a radio operator on a B-29, and he always thanked those Marines that captured Iwo, because 2 times they had to stop at Iwo because they were shot up. He said those were the heroes.
Yep. He could have very well
Yes,
had
it
a
was.
hand in saving your father's life.
Yeah, he sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he had to go to the top turret and fire a flare because they were out of radio and they were flying straight in. I'm
Tremendous.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. 95, an EWO veteran, huh? That's something to say.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Now, I know you give tips out to people and stuff. If I may throw this out, I know a lot of outdoorsmen are listening. I read a book years ago, Ishi, Last of the Wild Indians. And when he was flaking arrowheads, if he got a piece in his eye, he would pull his lower lid down and hit himself on the back of the head a couple times. Well, I've been doing that over the years, and a lot of people say that maybe that's what's the matter with me. But anyhow, it works. It works very well. What it does, I guess, it lodges, a piece of debris to the corner of the eye where it can be wiped out. So I'm just throwing that out to anybody. If you get something in your eye, try that. I call it Ishi maneuver.
It sounds like it.
Yep.
Interesting tip.
Well, yep. I'm just real thankful to listen to your radio show. It's just like you're sitting here. I got a pot of coffee on the wood stove, and it's like you're sitting right up here talking away with everybody.
Fantastic.
And love to hear the people.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the
you.
time to call.
You bet.
You
all
bet.
Take care. I'll call back another time.
Please do that. All right, there we go. Jason, let's take one more call here. Let's talk to Andrew in Stone Mountain, and then we'll do I forgot I should have started in at 40 with the Medal of Honor tribute, and we'll do it at about 45, and I'll give you a few seconds warning if that's okay. Okay,
I'm
now
ready
let's
and
talk.
Andrew's there.
Let's talk to Andrew at Stone Mountain. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey there, ONeill, and especially hello there, Gail. I'm a past prize winner 4 years ago, 2 days.
Oh, boy.
January 24, 2015. That's because I knew that y'all went to Southwest DeKalb.
How about that?
We did indeed.
And I'm the arch rival Columbia.
Oh, man.
And I wanted to speak of a time that when that first caller talked about Kenilworth off at, South Harrison Memorial Drive.
Right.
It was a private lake because it was in a subdivision. You had to know somebody to fish there, and that's where I caught my biggest fish, which was 6 pounds. And me and this buddy of mine who used to work at a gun store that you've probably been to, was at Gwinnett Mall, and on the street side, Pleasant Hill. That's TMI. And we used to fish with, plastic worms and plugs and all, but we'd have 2 little fishing rods with 6-pound line and put a live worm on it that we'd get under the leaves in the backyard. And we would just troll around that lake. And by the way, to that guy that mentioned it earlier, the lake I drove through there just a week ago, it still looks as gorgeous as it always
that's wonderful.
has. And I caught a 6-pounder on that, and we used that. We almost wore the trolling motor trying to keep that fish on.
I'll bet so. What a great memory.
Another thing I wanted to mention to you that I called, I believe you used to know or work out with Mark Cornwell.
Yes.
And I worked at George Power with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that lake was gorgeous. And I also used to be, I told you back then, that I was in the Atlanta Bass Club with Pat McAvoy and John Zook.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I remember both of them.
I fished all the lakes that you have fished. Now, I want to ask you one question.
Okay.
And I work part-time for the AJC and throw papers now.
Mm-hmm.
And I throw to the houses right behind Lake Lucerne.
Okay.
You remember Lake Lucerne?
I do.
Okay. Did you ever get to fish that lake?
No, never, ever. My parents lived there, but no, I never fished that lake.
No. Oh, no, you had a free pass.
Yes, I did.
Well, I come out there right at that red light, right at the Yellow River, and I pass it every night, and I said, God, I'd love to fish that lake.
Yeah, it used to be called Possum Lake.
Oh, no.
Possum Lake, but it didn't sound as pretty as Lake Lucerne.
Yeah.
I got to go, pal. Listen, stay in touch.
right,
I appreciate it.
All right, bless y'all.
You bet.
All right.
See you later. There you go. Now, if all our engineers are in a row, because I fouled up and made it last longer, let's go for the Medal of Honor tribute. Can we do that, Jason? Lieutenant Colonel Joe Jackson, Vietnam, May 1968. Lieutenant Colonel Jackson distinguished himself as a pilot of a C-123 aircraft. He volunteered to attempt to rescue a 3-man combat control team from a Special Forces camp. The enemy had established gun positions on the airstrip. They were raking the camp with small arms, mortars, light, and heavy automatic weapons. The camp was engulfed in flames, and ammunition dumps were continually exploding and littering the runway with debris. In addition, 8 aircraft had been destroyed by the enemy fire, and 1 aircraft remained on the runway, reducing the usable length to only 2,000 feet. Although fully aware of the extreme danger, Lieutenant Colonel Jackson elected to land his aircraft and attempt to rescue. Displaying superb airmanship and extraordinary heroism, he landed his aircraft near the point where the combat control team was reported, and while on the ground, his aircraft was targeted with extreme hostile fire. Once the combat control team was aboard, Lieutenant Colonel Jackson succeeded in getting airborne despite the hostile fire and directed across the runway in control of the aircraft. He saved that team voluntarily.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, "I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to ONeill Outside on my radio."
59 after the hour.
O'Neill Outside.
Hey, there's Art calling from Bainbridge, Georgia. Remember Art? What do you say, I'm getting older every day. How about you?
Yes, Lordy. I'll have double sevens next April.
Oh, good, for goodness sakes.
I was going to have an idea for your podcast thing.
Okay, please
Why don't you
do.
Start from day one on the radio. It seems like it was 133 years ago.
It does.
And bring up the old stuff that made the show, the Milton Crabapples and the whatever else is. But it's been a long journey for you, and a lot of us have listened to you quite regularly, although we may not have called you as regularly as we once did. We always had you on our minds.
Well, you've always been out there, and I appreciate that, Art. I remember our calls when we used to be at the radio station on Saturday mornings.
And that's true. I've called you from a lot of different places.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. I bet you're still catching them, aren't you?
Well, I like saltwater better than I do freshwater. Lake Seminole has been changed. The hurricane devastated our area.
Oh.
The timber's down. There are things that you can see on the banks and the houses and all for miles now because of the timber's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But Decatur and Seminole County got really torn up by that thing. It was a Category 4 when it got here.
Oh,
and we're still trying to recover, but the rattlesnake roundup is going on. It's scheduled today over at Wiggum. There's a few. They're not as plentiful as they once was. And there's some bass tournaments for charities coming, trying to rebuild Big Jim's fishing docks down on the lake. You remember Spring Creek Lodge, don't you?
Yeah, Jim Wingate. What was
no,
his
Jack Wingate's on the other side of the lake.
Wingate, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
Jack Wingate.
The winds it tore up everything down here. It's kind of sad to see. Timber's down. The lake doesn't look the same. It had a 4-foot surge that put grass. It just took the grass out of the pockets on the southwestern side and put it up in people's yards.
Oh boy!
It's unbelievable what that wind did down here.
I think I'll wait about seeing that.
But I'm enjoying the slower paced life down here. Don't miss the traffic at all. Still own my houses in Tucker, but I need to get rid of that, I guess. But
you will.
All in all, it's been a good life, and you and your show has been a part of it.
Well, you're very kind,
and I appreciate it, because there were times there where there wasn't a whole lot of callers getting started, and I'd round up some of those drunks up around North Carolina, and I said, look, y'all need to call this old boy here. Y'all don't know anything about anything, so ask him.
Yeah, we can make up an answer no matter what.
That's right. But good Lord, it's been a long journey, ONeill, and I congratulate you, and it would be interesting to hear what you remember about the early days.
I wish I had some recordings. I don't think I do, but I wish I had some recordings of those first shows. That was, Art, that was 27 years ago.
27 years.
Yes.
How about that?
The television
I remember
show.
Loading freight on part-time basis with Mac Farr over on the roadway dock. That's
there you
how
are.
Far back we go.
And
now he's a quadrillionaire up there because of a little fish.
Yeah, for sure. The radio show's 27 years old, and the television show is 37 years old. Oh, my goodness. Art, I'm glad to hear from you, pal.
We shouldn't have brought that up.
I know. I'm glad to hear from you. Good luck to you. Stay in touch more often. I enjoy the call. You bet. See you later, pal. Well, we had quite a few people today to telephone that have been listening to the program over 20 years. We're gratified to, without a doubt, Art and a lot of the people from West Virginia, New York, Ohio, and all around, even as far away as Texas, called this morning on ONeill Outside. It's 57 after the hour. And one of the things to point to you this week, I seek your advice. At SoundCloud on your computer, your iPhone, your iPad, and all that, the SoundCloud has ONeill Outside podcasts. I'm interested in your reaction to the podcast, and maybe you can let me know next Saturday, the Saturday after. We're not going to meet here next Saturday. We'll be out of town. Whether you want to hear interviews with experts, writers, experienced anglers, hunters, right now it's just me. It's just ONeill, just in a conversation or telling you a hunting or a fishing story or recommendations for you to do this or that or visit here and there. And my recommendation always is connected to the close of this program today and every Saturday, that we need to do everything we can as mature individuals, parents and grandparents, to seek out and solicit and recruit the next generation of sportsmen. I can testify that outdoor sports, quail, deer, hogs, turkeys, it's more exciting, it's more individual, it's more accomplished, and it lasts a great deal longer than high school or college sports, without a doubt. I appreciate you joining us this morning. This has been ONeill Outside, WSB Radio AM 750 and 95.5, and the SB Nation Radio Network, including WEEI in Boston covering the Northeast, and Woman Williams there with her Facebook page. Are we done?
I think we've done it all.
We've done enough. Let's go have another cup of coffee. And you guys keep this in mind. Wherever you go, whatever you're doing this week, plan a nice springtime trip. Because if you're too busy to go fishing and take a child along, you're too busy. We see you guys in a couple of weeks.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to ONeill Outside on my radio. ONeill, ONeill, ONeill Outside.